I just wanna be happy, happy tonight.
Hey guys, today I want to talk about something that's very personal to me and also affects many people in the dating scene, and that is anxiety. A lot of people feel pressured to date all the time, particularly when you're younger, because they think, well, you should be married, having kids by, say, 30. The thing is, you shouldn't be confined to society's norms. Whatever society says, you rip it up and you throw it away. And, unless you're hurting anyone else, you don't have to worry about it. So why am I saying this? Because a lot of people rush into relationships when they're really not ready, and then they end up hurting themselves and other people in the process. Before you get into any kind of relationship, you need to ensure that you are mentally sound and that you can handle that relationship, or at least communicate to your partner quite early on what your needs are and how you want to approach it. So, if you're just looking for some short-term dating, it's a great way to start building your confidence. But if you're looking for something long-term, you cannot really dive into that without being ready yourself. So what I mean by ready itself is if you're having a lot of mental health problems, being worried, okay, and also being upset a lot. So when it comes down to both, which is what I've been through, the most important thing I did was I started working on myself. When I got out of my relationship, my first proper relationship, I was ruined in the sense of my mental health and my physical health was dire. And what she did was I was completely fine. And then the day I wasn't fine, or a few months after I wasn't fine, she left me because I wasn't doing anything. I was struggling. And honestly, I don't blame her. Because putting up with someone with severe mental health problems, I know it's going to sound bad me saying this, right? But come on. It takes a very special kind of person that is willing to put up with that, right? And I know it sounds bad, but most people, especially her, did not have the strength to do so. And I have to admit, I would struggle finding the strength myself, even though I've been through very severe mental health problems. So what did I do? I focused on me. So I was extremely underweight. I started working on myself. If you watch my channel trailer, I'm just basically saying what I said on there. But I was working on myself. I was addressing my issues, and one by one was taken out. I actually had help as well from a therapist, which got me through a lot of my tough times. So what I'm saying is you need to address your problems. And once you work through your issues, I don't know how you're going to work through those issues, right? I'm here to help in any way I can. But sometimes if things are really bad, you need to get help from a therapist or find something that can get you out of that situation. So being afraid of going out places, I was working on that. Just by myself at first, I would just go out and I would work out ways to stay out longer and longer and eventually meet up with friends. Okay, so that is very severe. Not being able to go out means you cannot date. It's as simple as that. I could swipe on Tinder all day. But when it actually came to the conviction in getting that date, I wasn't ready for it. Plus, when you're going through something very difficult, it shows. It's quite obvious. If you look at the haunted looks on my face, if you look at my body at the time, any woman would look at me and think, mess. I'm not getting anywhere near that. And when you are struggling, it really shows and it really puts you at a disadvantage. But in a way, that can be your advantage. And let me tell you why. Because if people are not finding you attractive, if people don't want to date you, then you are forced to look inward. I am not a fan of blaming outside. I'm not a fan of blaming society. So when my ex broke up with me, yes, at first I blamed her, but after rational thinking, I thought, no, it wasn't her fault. It was me. I have issues that I need to address. Okay, and when it comes down to things, when it comes down to anything in life, this is the best advice I've been given. No matter what happens to you, no matter what outside forces come into place, okay, there's always something you could have done. There's always something you can do to improve your situation. So if you blame somebody or something, that's not going to change anything. The only thing you can do is you got to look inwards and you got to think, okay, how am I going to approach this next time? How am I going to deal with this next time? And almost anything you can think of really is something you could fix yourself. So once I got the confidence to go out, I started thinking, well, I may not be ready to date. I may not be fine mentally, but I'm going to go to the gym. And I started going to the gym. And because you release endorphins whenever you work out, you feel better. So exercise is very important if you're going through some really tough times. Exercise, getting that motivation is so hard. Okay, believe me, getting up and forcing myself took a lot of strength, particularly because I was too afraid to leave my house. But what you got to do is you got to start small. I bought a couple of weights and worked out in my garage. I was living at my parents' house at the time. I don't live there anymore. Right now, during 2020, obvious things going on. I bought resistance bands, I bought pull-up bars, gyms are closed, and that's how I've been getting my exercise. And also, I'm fortunate enough to live in a community area where we have a communal pool that I can use every day. But you work up to it. You make yourself little steps. So if I take myself as an example, because I don't know you guys' situation, whoever watches this. I start off by working out at home, and I slowly built up the courage to eventually get in my car and go to the gym. Okay, I may only go in for 10 minutes, and then next time it'll be 20 minutes, then 30 minutes, and next thing you know, I'm working my bum off, getting physically fitter and feeling better as a result. The toughest part of fixing yourself, the toughest part as getting through something traumatic and difficult, is finding out what you can do to help. And if you want to start off anywhere, my best advice is start off with a therapist. Go to counseling, okay? If you live in Europe, get on that waiting list. Don't wait. Because you'll be on that list for a long time. Or if you got a bit of cash, a bit of spare cash, putting that into mental health counseling can be invaluable because it is something that will improve your life. If you live in America, a lot of times your healthcare provider will give you mental health as part of your package, or at least they'll pay the majority of it. Always good getting in touch with your mental health provider. And they can help you work through your problems, and they can help you to know how to get started. Luckily for me, well, not exactly lucky, but for me, I looked at myself in the mirror and I seen someone who used to be fit that became extremely skinny. So I knew where I had to start. And then when I started, it snowballed from there. Okay, you may be thinking, hang on a minute, you're telling me you used to not be able to leave your house, now you live in California, what the hell's going on? Yeah, okay, I lived in Wales, but because I worked on myself, because I worked in the gym, because I worked on going out so much, because I worked with a counselor, because I had a good support network, talking to your friends, I eventually gained that confidence to get out here. Okay, and how does this relate to dating? You got to take small steps. So, in the case of you're worried about approaching people, why not start online? You don't necessarily have to dive into Tinder or Bumble or Hinge or any dating app. You can do this by just joining communities. Okay, my inspiration for this video came from r/dating advice on Reddit. Reddit is a great community, and I'm actually going to post this video there. So for anyone on Reddit, if you clicked on this video, hey, how you doing? You got to find a community that clicks with you. So you got to find something you're interested in. And you may meet someone there and you can work on your conversational skills. You can work on your confidence, especially if you move the conversation to voice chat, FaceTime, Discord or whatever. That can all help you out. And then eventually you can work up the courage to go on the dating apps. And eventually you can work up the confidence to talk to someone on a dating app. Remember, whenever you sign up for these apps, you're not obliged to meet anybody. Okay, and I know it sounds silly and a lot of people won't like that, but if you talk to someone on Tinder, you cannot expect to meet up with them. Even if it goes well, if you talk for a couple weeks, it's a good place to start. And you will find people on Tinder that are just happy to chat, just happy to talk. You can even specifically say you just want a friend to talk to, and you can find people on there. Okay? And Tinder, you can even work up to the flirting and work up to meeting up in person. When it comes to meeting people in person and approaching them, that's a different ball game. You have to go in there with a sense of you don't care what the result is, because odds on, a lot of times it won't quite work out. But what's the worst they can say to you? No? Okay, they could laugh at you. All right, they laughed at you. So what? What is that going to do? So just to conclude, you got to take steps. You got to find out your problem. You got to identify the problem. Then you got to take small steps to improve. So whatever your situation is, as soon as you know what you're working with, you know how to work it. And you will get out of that situation. Go to a doctor, go to a therapist if you can. Work out. Normally, if you don't know what you're doing, oftentimes the gym can give you that insight, because whenever you work out, you got things going through your mind and you have a chance to think. Okay, so I hope this helps. As someone who's been through this is someone that's something that's extremely close to my heart. I don't need a script. I don't need research, because this has happened to me. And I want you to know that you're not alone. I am here. I've been here. If you go on any kind of subreddit to do with mental health or any kind of community, you'll have people like me on there sharing their experience. Okay? And I know I use myself as an example a lot, but that was the situation I was in. And every situation can follow the same formula, just is slightly different, and some people are worse than others. But even so, I don't like saying worse than others, because your situation to yourself is horrible to be in, because no one can truly understand your position, your perspective, except for you. So I want to leave you with that, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this. This is not really a lighthearted video. This is more deeper, but hopefully I've answered any kind of questions that people might have. Be sure to check out my socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. You can talk to me on Discord anytime. The link will be in the description down below. Check out my free yoga. I'm a yoga instructor, personal trainer. Be sure to check out the free yoga sessions I offer on Facebook. And yeah, until next time, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day.